Welcome to the Daily Review. This is Razak, Senior Trading Strategist here at CMTrading. And today is August 17, 2023, and today is Thursday morning. So looking at the highlights of the day, the markets sell off almost across the board. But first, no major economic event scheduled for today. So jumping into corporate earnings, today we have Walmart coming out with corporate earnings. Yesterday, Cisco came out and guided positively. We're going to take a look at that in just a second. But first, looking at the Forex symbols, the major pairs slide versus the US dollar. And as we look at the indices, both the Dow Jones and the NASDAQ also took a slide and sold off. Now, looking at commodities, gold trickled lower, oil took a nosedive. And also looking at tech, ALCOA continues its sliding and selling off, while tech stocks remain mixed. Lastly, looking at cryptocurrencies, Bitcoin takes a nosedive to 28,500-ish level. So let's take a look at the markets and see what we can expect from today's trading. So here we go with the Euro USD. So this is what we like to see. If you get anything from this presentation today, it's when the Dow Jones sells off, okay, the dollar goes higher. And this is exactly what's happening across the board. The major pairs are rotating and selling off versus US dollar. Now, it's not selling off, big sell-off, but it is trickling down. And so is the markets just in general, okay? If you look at the US markets, they are trickling down. They're not selling off this massive sell-offs. But every day, it's accumulating, okay? From our highs, we're down here about 60, 70 pips just in the past few days, which is all in, all considered not a major retracement, but a decent retracement. Because if we look at a weekly chart, just to give us a perspective, we're hitting that 30-day moving average, and this is where it becomes kind of interesting. Then jumping to the GBP USD, traded sideways. And this is showing some relative strength. So when the market does turn around, I'd expect the British pound to be the one to go up higher. Now jumping into the Canadian dollar, also getting quite weaker versus the dollar. Remember, we had a CPI from Canada, and that continued to gap and go to 135.42-ish level. And now we are kind of tapering off as we're getting closer to resistance-ish area. The real resistance-ish area is at 36.50, so we still have some room on the upside. Now, the relative probability at this stage is not working towards your favor, so just be aware of that. Now, jumping into commodities, gold sliding to 1897. Now, that is significant because day to day, look at that. It's a straight line down, and it did, like at a certain point at 1911, 1900, it bounced off of it, took us all the way to almost 1990, and then selling off 100 points over the past, I would say, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, and that is a decent move. Now, we are breaking the 200-day moving average on a daily, so that is really important. And if this continues going, this needs to taper off and to level off before it stops selling off. So keep that in mind. Now, looking at crude oil, sold off a little bit more aggressively over the past couple of days, and it did dip below $80 a barrel. Now, that is an important number, so just keep that in mind. Now, looking at the U.S. markets, the sell-off, okay, let's just jump into the Dow Jones floor. Okay, the sell-off is not massive. Okay, it's not like I went from 36,000 down to 34,000, but it's a decent move over the past couple of days. It's about 400 to 600 points. Okay, considering after hours trading and before hours trading. Okay, so all in all, it's not a massive move. It's a bloodbath, okay, because there's still a lot of news coming in. Yesterday we had the FOMC meeting minutes. Cisco came out with news, and so there's not like, this is the hardest stretch of a recovery of a recession, which we've not officially been in, but we've been in over the past couple of years. And so this is something that is still developing as to just consolidating in this area. And that's what happens in this type of market. Now, jumping into the NASDAQ, we see much more weakness there. And that reflects on some of the tech stocks. Which one specifically? So let's just jump straight into it. If we look at Facebook, okay, which is Meta, it's breaking below that 30-day moving average. There's a crossover with the 8-day and the 30-day moving average. That's important, okay? And we are correcting to 294. If we look at Tesla, we're seeing tremendous weakness there, especially since we crossed over that 8-day to 30-day moving average. And you see it, it's just completely falling out of bed ever since we hit our highs of 298. Now, with this said, there could be that there's a recovery towards the second part of the fourth quarter, but that has yet to be seen, and we have to let that time actually develop itself. Now, jumping into the other tech stocks, Microsoft didn't sell off, okay? However, this one we've been working on and looking at. ALCOA did continue to sell off day to day. It broke that supportish level, and boom, we got that confirmation, and that's really important. This is the trade of the day. If you want to tell, this was a layup trade, easy money, when it just breaks that supportish level from day to day. Now, looking at Bitcoin, look at that nosedive, okay? I mean, it fell out of bed from 29,375 down to 28,000, and it is breaking that supportish level, okay? That there was supportish level at 29,000, did breach it. However, it made some real estate back. Still, it's weak, okay? So in a weak environment, weak asset, you want to look to continue to short it, okay? And this is exactly what's happening. And I would be cautious at this level because there could be some correctional moves on the upside as well, as some of these spikes kind of take you in a low volume environment, which we find ourselves right now in. So keep that in mind. This is Razak. I want to wish you guys a great trading day. Thank you.